Welcome back, my fellow vapor seekers. We are here with another new thing from Vapvana. They've just been turning out the absolute hitters. And this time we're going to be jumping off with the Vapvana Ace. It starts out with this big white box. And personally, I am really happy to see that the packaging has taken a step up from when I originally got my screwball. And I'm also really happy to see that I didn't just receive a million tiny little plastic bags full of parts. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Before I continue any further, let's jump right in, get this open, and see what's inside. It starts off with a nice quick start guide. So we're just going to set this to the side and get that in a minute. Take off this foam, and we're presented with a really nice layout of your kit. So let's get this all pulled out of the box for you and show you everything that this comes with. Now that we've gotten it all pulled out of the box and here's all the parts, there's a lot to go through. Let's start with the quick start guide. It looks like it wants you to put it together in a very specific order. Screw the hot hole post to the top right, place your hot hole on top of the post and screw it down. Screw the heater stand into the bottom right. After you assemble it, complete a burn off at 600 degrees Fahrenheit with the Ace heater inside the hot hole for 30 minutes. Once the burn off is complete, set the PID temp to 525, load a scoop, and you're ready to go. These PID instructions are pretty standard and comparable to the other PIDs that we've gone over, but for those of you that are new, let's just take a quick second to go over those. You're gonna hold the center button for 5 seconds to turn it on or off. The plus and minus buttons adjust the temperature, and you can access an auto timer off in the settings. So if you're gonna use it all day, I suggest turning this off. For those of us that are overseas, you can switch it from Celsius and Fahrenheit. Let's go over the heater first so I can set it up, get it on a burn off while I talk about the rest. This heater is an absolute whopper. Comparatively to some of the other coils that I have, like the Clampy, this thing is huge and heavy, but that means it's gonna be really hot. And it comes with a built-in coil guard, which is really nice and adjustable with an Allen key on this side. And the other big difference about this coil is it's not really a coil. I mean, it is a coil that you can see peeking through the nice V on the outside, but the coil is actually wrapped in this armored casing. While it is using coil technology, this is definitely gonna be a step up as the armored coil that he calls the hot hole. Then we have the posts for the hot hole and the heat stand. Let's go ahead, get these screwed on. And he said, do this one in the top right. A quick note to those of you assembling these, make sure that when you screw these in to not over tighten these. This is just a metal piece glued into the wood. It is possible to over torque these and pop these out. So now that we've talked about the heater, let's go ahead and get it on. You're gonna unscrew this little knob on the side, and if you happen to drop it and lose it, don't worry, he does give you some extras. We'll get to those in a second. And you just go ahead and slide that over the top and place it off to the side like that. And for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and finger tighten everything, and then I'll run through with an Allen key. And once it's all set up, I'll get everything nice and tight. Then on the bottom right, you're gonna grab your heat post, and let's screw that in. And just like that, you have a setup ready to rock. I'm gonna wrap this cord around. After you get that all situated, go ahead and take your cord and you're just gonna plug it into the front over here. See if we can get this to lay straight a little bit. And boom, now you're ready to go. And we're gonna set it up to 600 just like the directions say. Let that heat up. And while that's heating up a little bit, let's go ahead and talk about the Ace head. The Ace, just like the Screwball 2.0 version, has these holes in the top for air inlets and gems on the inside. The amount of gems in here is between a screwball and a pinch hitter, so this is a little bit of a middle ground as far as weight goes. But it's very tightly packed, so there is no shake in there and the gems are very secure. Before we jump too much into the use of the head, let's talk a little bit about the design and why I like the Ace over some of the other competitors. The holes around the edge of the head. The first iteration of the screwball had the holes on top, and then it came out with the holes on the side, and that design transferred over into the Ace. And you can see where I talk about this in the screwball update video, where these holes create laminar airflow and pull air along the walls of the head, versus some of the other manufacturers that have an open mesh screen on the top and all the air pulls flat across all the rubies, causing this head to cool down a lot more and a lot faster than the Vapvana one. And what that does is it makes a lot of weird reclaim in the bowl's screen. So I like the Ace because it has really good habits of sustained temperature, even though it's a wireless unit. Now to do our heat up, we're gonna go ahead and throw that in and let it go for about a half hour. It comes with a glass pass-through bowl. I've been using this with both the pinch hitter and the screwball, and I really like it. And the way I've actually been doing it is I'll pop this out when I'm ready to take some hits, set it on the desk next to me, and as I'm using it, I'm actually gonna just use my finger like a carb hole. Very nostalgic to using just an old spoon pipe, but very effective for clearing your rig out. It also comes with an 18 to 14 adapter, so if your rig is 18, you are ready to go right out of the box. And a nice convenient little holding place for you. Oh, and it looks like I even have a nice little place to put the cap. This stand is looking like it's going to shape up to be very useful. Along with the bowls, you'll also get some new screens, which is always a bonus. Oh, before I move on to the next little pack too, he does send you a keck clip, which is a clip just to hold the adapter onto the bowl if you do use those. So it's really nice that Vapvana really thought of everything you'd need right out of the box. Next up is a banger. And that's one of the other really awesome things about the Ace, is not only can it be used for flower with the Ace head, but this 25mm hot hole can be used with quartz as well. So you can do dabs or flower depending on your mood. Along with this 25mm banger, so he gives you a little terp pearl, a place to put it, and a marble to go ahead and cap it off. Along with that, since it's a 10mm joint, which is very popular amongst most dabbers, he also included a 10mm to 14mm adapter. If you have an 18mm rig, 14mm rig, or 10mm rig, you'll be ready to take dabs. Last up in the box are just some tools. We have an extra little bag of Allen key screws in case you misplace any of the ones for the hot hole. A little scoopy scoop for that dry herb that we're gonna put into the bowl. So it looks like all my tools for this and all the accessories can fit right in the unit. So not only did we get screens for the bowl inside of the bowl pack, we got screens in case you lose the ones that go in the head. So now that this is heating up some more, I probably should have done this while it's cold, but I'm gonna go ahead and just make sure everything is nice and tight. Trying to save time for the sake of the video. And again, don't over tighten any of this stuff. It just needs to be tight enough that it won't move. I'm gonna go ahead and double check some of these other ones. And now that everything is nice and tight and all set up, I'm gonna let this roast for a nice half hour, and we will be back to show all of this in action. And we're back. After that half-hour heat up and a few days playing around with all the parts and pieces, I gotta say the first impressions and use of this thing have been absolutely amazing. I really like the way that the Ace slides in and out of the hot hole. Since it's a really smooth surface, everything slides in really easily. Unlike the coils where the edge of the head will catch on the coil sometimes, this is a really nice mate. I have a custom dab tool and a custom brush that I got from Smith Custom Glass. Really nice work. And of course, always have to add my little flair to the station. So enough talk, let's go ahead and show you what this thing is all about. I'm going to use the Big League Bubbler today, which has been one of my favorites to use with dry herb vapes these days. Get the head, put the glass plug, set it to the side. I am running at 525, which is the recommended temperature that they suggest out of the box, because I want to show you what kind of horsepower it has on its low setting. From here, you really should work your way up. I've ended up in about the 540 range and I'm getting really nice clouds there. That being said, at 525, this thing still performs. Let's go ahead and show you. I like to take the head and leave it on a little bit. Some amazing flavor and some really nice clouds. Especially for only being at 525. and the ABV is incredibly even and really the perfect color for me. All right, so now that we've taken a hit of flower, let's go ahead and move on to dabs. This is a really decent beginning banger. There are a couple things I wish that were different about it, like a full weld and that the hole lined up a little better, but that's just me being a little bit of a glass snob. For a beginning kit, this is a really good place to start. So for dabs, you're gonna crank up your PID. I run mine at about 650 because I like to heat the banger up past my dab temperature. So by the time I get my tool and all my things situated, I'm hitting the dab right about where I wanna be. For the video, I'm gonna use this little terpometer to show you where you are when you pull off, but typically I have it set in a way to where I can just pull the banger off and take the dab right away. So let's go ahead, pull this off, get our dab inside the bucket, and throw our Marlboro on top. And just like that, dab complete. So this all-in-one kit for dabs or flower just really rocks and is a really great place to start if you're trying to break into the space or if you're just trying to get into the desktop game. And if you already have a bunch of devices, this is for sure a contender to get into your arsenal. Well, that's all for the Vapvana Ace. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay lifted. Psst, come hang out with us on Discord. Keep an eye out for some merchandise coming to an internet near you.